Hello, dear boys, and welcome to our Bible study. A little later than normal, but I think that doesn't matter because I see that a lot of people just watching it after a few weeks or after a few days. And as it is with podcasts and videos, there is no time indication, so that's not needed, and that's perfect because you can study the word whenever you want, wherever you want, and I hope this will help you today. So let's continue with 1 John 2, verse 3. And by this we know that we have come to know him, if we keep his commandments. This verse begins the fourth of the seven passages that compare the words of false believers to their actions. In each passage, John states the truth, states what false teachers say, and then corrects the error. So far we have read three such comparisons, and I will give them to you first. In 1 John 1 verse 5 to 7, it is claiming to have fellowship with God, but they are walking in darkness. In 1 John 1 verse 8 to 9, claiming to be without sin, but the truth is not in them. And 1 John 1 verse 10 to 1 John 2 verse 2, claiming to have not sinned, but making God a liar. And now, in verse after that verse, in verse 2 verse 4, there begins the fourth such comparison, and it's claiming to know God, but not doing what he commands. So, how do we know? Twice, John uses the word know at the beginning of this verse. While the same root word is used, gnosis, each is used differently. The first indicates what we know. It means to have confidence or assurance that something is true. Think of it like knowing a fact. We have confidence that something is true, which for believers begs a question. How do we know or have confidence and assurance in our relationship with God? As we read further, John spends a lot of time answering this in his letter. And then comes the second know. What is knowing God? It's often said that there is a difference between knowing about someone and actually knowing someone. That is the real difference between the first and the second know. We know a lot about a person, but do we know them? Do we have a relationship with them? Since we really can't see or touch God like we can others, John makes it simple. To know God is to keep his commandments, or to obey him. Reading chapter 14 and 15 in the Gospel according to John, Jesus states over and over that if you love me, you will obey what I command. John 14, verse 15. Therefore, if you claim to know God and love God, yet do not obey him, you are a liar. Keeping his commandments. To the Jews who had believed in him, Jesus said, if you hold to my teaching, you are really my disciples. Then you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. John 8, verse 31 and 32. The key to being obedient to God is very, very simple. Find out what God wants you to do and do it. The practical application of this will take a lifetime. James 1:22 says, do not merely listen to the word and so deceive yourselves. Do what it says. Obviously, we are to obey God. We need to know what He wants us to do. And of course, that is found in the Bible. The navigators have a nice description of how to know God's Word in their hand illustration. And these are 5 points. First, hear God's Word. Romans 10:17. Second, read God's Word. Revelations 1:3. Third, study God's Word. Acts 17:11. Fourth, memorize God's Word. Psalms 119, verse 9 and 11. And fifth, meditate on God's Word. Psalms, Psalm 1, verse 2 and 3. So hear, read, study, memorize, and meditate. Joshua 1 verse 8 says, keep this book of the law always on your hearts. Meditate on it day and night, so that you may be careful to do everything written in it. Then you will prosperous and successful. Brothers, God gives Joshua two key steps in being obedient. Keep God's word always on your lips and meditate on it day and night. How is your time in the word? Is it daily? Is it fruitful or is it dry? And take a look at the 5 points in the navigator's list, and it's in the description below. Which one are your weakest ones? And make a plan to improve it today, tomorrow, next week. And well, I'm not very good in memorizing God's word. I really, well, I can sing some hymns, psalms, etc., but really memorize word for word, that's hard for me. But just studying the word together with you guys, together with my brothers, my sisters, together with my wife, it's an awesome thing to do, and it really helps me to understand what the Lord's want from me. So you can also try to pick one out of these and try to improve it. It's a good thing for me to improve memorizing God's word, because then when you do not have the Bible with you, you can always have some Bible texts and Bible passages in your mind. So I think that's a good one for me. Hey, thank you for listening. Hope to see you next time, and may God bless you all.